What's up, guys? John from Heavy Set Tactical. We're down in the woods today and really happy to be back filming. I'm going to be putting out a lot of videos this week and next week. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about a knife that I've been waiting. I have it on a high-rise horizontal setup right now, and this is the A8max Wolverine from Tuff Gear Knives with the 3-color camo G10. Really loving this thing. Nice, new and shiny, and the A8max Steel that they are coming out of the gate with is pretty impressive stuff. Nice sharp spine. You guys know me, at the end of my reviews is when I'll do a tabletop. We'll talk about specs, potential competitive options, and you know what I thought about my testing. So this is the Tuff Gear Wolverine, designed by Alex from Aurora Borealis Knives, graciously sent to me by Vic Lynn and the Tuff Gear team, so thank you guys. So let's dive on in. Let's dive in and take a look at this thing. It's very impressive, very comfortable, really great size, weight, shape, everything on it just really works. Super slicey, even though it has that big convex edge. This thing's going to be a workhorse. Let's check it out. So guys, today I'm out on the trail, you know, having a good time, having a good hike so far. It's a pretty nice day out. I do want to talk a little bit later about some of the things I use surrounding my knives, some of the gear. I also want to talk about my North Face pack that I'm wearing right now. It's really giving me a lot of good use out of it. Not the best day pack because it's not ultra light, but if I was using it for a multi-day pack, it would be perfect. So trying to put some more miles on it, and we'll talk a little bit about that later as far as, you know, my favorite hiking shoes, favorite pack, stuff like that. I think it's worth a mention. Heavy Set Tactical here, and it is, we had a sudden temperature drop in PA today. I'm up on a hill shooting up above the river, and I thought it was going to be a good location to shoot today because of the sun, but yeah, freezing cold winds coming in, so I hope you can hear me okay. Today I obviously said that we're going to be checking out the Tuff Gear Wolverine, and guys, this is one of their convex edges, especially on the Aurora Borealis designs, where it is just a slice machine. I feel like I'm grating a carrot. Just such an excellent blade. We're going to do a little bit of batoning. Just to, you know, I know a lot of people don't agree with the batoning, or, you know, don't think it's a useful tool, a thing for your tool to do. They think it, if you were in a real survival situation, why would you potentially harm the only tool you have? There are other ways to do it with wedges, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of debates out there. Me, I like to show that this blade can handle the shock without the handle scales loosening up and things of that nature. So we're going to do a little batoning. Man, something about Aurora Borealis's designs that baton so well. A lot of Tuff Gear's designs do, but this high saber here, it almost reminds me of like the depth of a White River Firecraft blade, White River Firecraft 5 or 6, or FC7, whatever the number is, because it's very long from blade to hilt. I really like that about the blades, but these are a lot thicker, so it doesn't get stuck in there as easily. Move on to something a little harder. This is a really bent piece of maple that's just nasty and gnarly. Let's go down through this, shall we? Oh. wish I had a heavier baton. Oh man, it's twisting in there. I wanted to do at least one hard-ass batoning job with this blade here. Just to show you guys, if there's a knife, I know in my experience, if there's a knife that'll stand up to the crazy batoning tasks you want to do, if you like batoning, that'll be a Work Tuff gear, and especially Aurora Borealis design blade. Whew. You guys should see how gnarly this thing is. I gotta blow my nose. Holy shit. It twisted one way and then twisted back the other. That was a nasty piece of wood. You can see how fibrous it is. It's all dried out, so it's just rock hard. Whew. And that did great. Should we go at it another way? Just for the sake of batoning in the freezing cold? Let's do it. Now another thing is A8, usually they do like an SK85 with this Wolverine design. This is their stainless variant. This is not K329, this is the A8max, which I will have some more information later in this video. When I sit down tabletop, I want to make sure you guys are very clear on why they chose A8max and the information that I was given by Vic Lynn and Aurora Borealis. But just like always, guys, this edge, this almost mirror polish edge, just fine, no rolls even in that hardwood. Trust me, I've had some stainless steels get little rolls on them when batoning hardwood. Let me blow my nose, guys. We'll get with it. All right, guys. Hope you can hear me. Hope you can see me okay. It is freezing. But if anybody knows me personally, they know I don't pick the best times to do things like this, so we're rocking out with it. So I have this on a high riding setup here with the belt clip. Very great sheath, very comfortable. At the end, we'll go over what I think about the sheath and show you guys kind of how I have it set up and some other ways to set it up. But what I really wanted to talk about today was the ability, without the choil, to still have a nice choked up area on here that you can use for some finer tasks. So we're just doing a little feather sticking. I'm a little out of practice too. I just want to show you guys the magnificence of a good convexed edge. Does not have to be a convexed grind to be a good feather sticking knife like some of Bark River's stuff. You just let it find the right edge and you can get some really good curls. I should probably break this down a little bit into something a little thinner. If you guys, I've been meaning to say this, if you guys want a good feather stick tutorial, I thought about doing one. I'm not a master feather sticker, and I know it's a task a lot of people don't care very much about, sadly, which, you know, when it comes to some of the smaller bushcraft tasks and carving tasks, I think that they are extremely important. That's me. I had a knife built for me by Rob Evans, RJ Evans, the MK1. I showed you guys in a couple shorts. He's got some, Aurora Borealis does too on his channel. Rob Evans, Woodsman, and Aurora Borealis both have some really great examples of feather sticking and fire making on their channels. I would check those out if I were you guys. But yeah, just kind of talking while I work. That's usually when I say what I want to say. I don't ever script anything on this channel. You guys know that. But yeah, That's what's so great about these designs, is you can really get some good feathers on there. I also want to do some chopping today. Then we might even do a little industrial cutting when I get back to the barn at my place. Might do a little bit of industrial cutting as well, just to show you guys how much this thing can handle as far as the edge with this A8max Steel variant. Because a lot of guys are going to look at it and they're going to say the same thing I did for a second, which is A8 or Oz 8 or you know, shitty SOG folders, or whatever your mind goes to when you talk about A8 steel, for being a stainless that's not very competitive as far as edge holding and some other properties, is just not true. It is very true in the sense that it doesn't stand up to a lot of other steels, but this is not regular A8 steel. This is a variant that was changed and treated as such for better edge retention and extreme toughness, but also price availability. So you don't have to pay $380 for this awesome bush knife. So that's why I respect Work Tuff Gear as much as I do, because they offer a lot in the affordable range of serious survival knives. So yeah, another thing about steels, guys, don't knock it till you try it, because everybody has different takes on steels. Like 1095, I used to not like 1095 at all. Then I used an ESEE and did a lot of hard use with my ESEE and realized that 1095 is awesome. You know, I care more about not rusting, so that's why I like my stainless steels a little more. But don't let steel snobs on the internet ruin what you think about trying out some other steels, because you're never going to know how well it works for you and the task you're doing with it until you buy it and try it. So that's my little rant. I just love this slicey edge. Man, my nose just keeps running like crazy. All right, let's do some chopping. All right, guys, now safety first. When you're swinging, make sure that left plant leg, you're not gonna come down into your leg. Make sure if you're holding something, you're not gonna come across and hit your arm. Gabe from Last Huntsman, him and I both have had a nice little dinger from doing that. So just make sure you're careful, guys. I should have a lanyard on this knife, but I didn't put one on yet for this specific task of I'm probably not gonna do a shootload of chopping with this knife. Usually I like a little more blade heavy knives, and this is why I love this thing, because the balance point is right on that finger choil for this knife. So you guys get a great pinch point. I always say that word, pinch point, because that pinch point right here is very functional, and you have a lot of agility with this knife. It's not going to tire your hand out a lot from all the wear and tear of having a bigger blade. But we are going to do some chopping right on this knot here. Make sure you guys are safe about it, and if your hands are cold or tiring out, make sure you take a break. You know what I mean? I've seen some really bad close calls from having these slip out of your hand. Now, I guess I didn't talk about it, but this is about a two and a quarter inch dead sapling. The top looks like it got taken off in a storm maybe or something. Great chopping leverage still with this blade. Guys, that's why I like blades with that bigger belly up front, because it's so functional. Like I said, sometimes I'll tuck this hand behind my back, make sure I'm not letting it, because when I'm doing a task, sometimes I can bring that hand forward and not even notice you know, just out of reaction, or go to put it on this tree, or you never know. So sometimes I'm just extra careful, guys. For some of you guys that don't do this a lot, I'm trying to show a little more care and concern for safety. I'll tell you what, guys, for a not the biggest, longest, heaviest blade in the world, this thing really chops great. So to be honest with you, I feel like I want to show you guys a little more up close and skilled cutting with it, as far as the feather sticking and a little bit of carving and notching. But it's freezing out here, so my task today, especially because of how good Work Tuff Gear has been to me and some other small channels that deserve, you know, to be able to test things that they necessarily can't go buy a bunch of. Guys, Work Tuff Gear is a very respectful and very honorable company, as far as Vic Lynn and some of their designers, Zeke Minacho, Aurora Borealis, Jeremy Boulder Valentine. And thanks to Scab from Choir Boys Cutlery, he's the one that really got me into the Work Tuff Gear stuff, and got me and Gabe from the Last Huntsman channel talking about it a lot, and that's when I reached out, and that's what started everything. And to be honest with you guys, you will be blown away at the level of functionality that you get for the price, and fit and finish, and usability in general when it comes to these blades. This thing chopped extremely well. It doesn't have the biggest bird's beak, but it's there. You know, I had a Reef F6, the micarta variant, and I had bought that knife, and for some reason it just wasn't doing it for me. Very similar in blade length and profile to this knife for the most part. You know, a lot more expensive though, a little bit more expensive, and it was in 3V, but sorry about the nose. So my point being that knife has a dead straight handle, you know, and it doesn't have any contouring to where it helps keep it in your hand. So it's, you know, you have to use a lanyard. But a lot of times I don't put lanyards on my mid-sized survival knives like this, because for one, I'm always thinking about how much leverage they're putting on, like how much trust they're putting in those lanyards. God forbid it snapped and that was the only thing keeping it in your hand. I know a lot of guys like Gideon's Tactical like to use their lanyards for just a little bit extra support as far as the grip. But yeah, when I'm testing out a knife, I usually don't put a lanyard on it yet. I want to feel how much I can get with that handle before it feels like it's coming out of my face, coming out of my hand. I like the handle on these. Guys, I'm telling you, every person I've seen or helped talk into getting a Wolverine or mountain lion, they get it in their hand and instantly say what I said. Oh my God, best ergonomics on the handle, just fits all kinds of hands. Still got a lot of extra meat out the back with that slight bird's beak. Just a really great functional build on this knife. So let's go look at some fire making stuff, show you that sharp spine. So what's up, guys? One thing I know a lot of people care about when it comes to their survival knives, and that is a sharp spine, sharp 90-degree spine. Now, I have my Bayite, B-A-Y-I-T-E, my Bayite 1/2 inch. Comes with this lanyard on it, and it served me pretty good. Only about 20 bucks maybe. But I wanted to show you, a lot of people like that 90-degree spine for being able to get fibrous material like this. Would you guys look at that? Guys, there are not a lot of knives that could get you fibrous material just like this one can, and a lot of Work Tuff Gear knives, but especially this one. Aurora Borealis loves the sharp spines on his knives, and I think he puts that effort into his design as best as he can. Just excellent. So it's not just about striking a ferro rod. You know, it's about processing fat wood, resin-filled pine wood, you know, to start a fire with. It's about being able to get fibrous material like this collected to then strike your ferro rod on. Not just about striking the ferro rod. You can get a ferro rod like this one. This one came with a striker on it, but I like to demonstrate the sharpness of these spines with the ferro rod because a lot of guys prefer that. Guys, I'm telling you. It's hitting my camera stand. That's how crazy this is. Oh man, guys, I'm telling you, there's something so good about a crazy work tough gear 90-degree spine. And I always say in my videos, you could stab your knife in or baton it in a little bit, put your tinder on the far side of the knife, and then draw like this. That way it's all bundled up right there on the other side of the blade. So guys, we're gonna head back. It's getting freezing, windy. We're supposed to get some snow today, I believe. So we're gonna get back to the house, to the barn, and we're gonna do a little bit of industrial cutting, I believe, and kind of take a look at that edge up close. I always do the fingernail test, not one bump or wiggle on there. Perfect edge still. Guys, this A8max Steel is really living up to what Vic Lynn and Aurora said it would. Aurora Borealis Knives, Alex from Aurora Borealis Knives said it would. So I'm really impressed with it. So let's go back. We're going to talk about some other knives that are in this category as far as size and ability. We're going to talk about the A8max Steel, and we're going to... Guys, just a finishing thought about this Wolverine here, and I'm trying to find a good way to get it on camera, is if you're doing some push cuts and using that nice big belly there to make notches or triggers or traps or do whatever it is that you want to do as far as carving stuff, this tip here is super nice to be able to get some finer tasks done. So is the, you know, the flat part of this knife, because of the handle, makes it very comfortable. But I just wanted to show you guys that this knife really just bites in, and is a good carving knife as well, if you had to use it. Now me, I usually have a big blade for survival tasks and then a smaller fixed blade. Right now, my smaller survival blade is this. My smaller blade that I have in my pack today. Guys, once in a while, trust me, I know almost none of you like Falkneven knives. But they were some of the first knives, like the A1 military knife, that I started getting into, especially originally watching some of the DBK Boys stuff and wanting to try them out of curiosity. So this is the R2 Scout. You know, and this also is one of those great little, geez, look at that, great little carving knives. Has a really functional edge on it. So a lot of the time I will, it's crazy, a lot of the time I'll have a smaller carving knife, like my Rob Evans MK1, or my another great one is a cheap option is the Mora Black Bushcrafter. A lot of times I'll have a smaller lighter carving knife for some of my carving tasks, but you absolutely can still use this knife for a lot of finer work and carving stuff. It's definitely still usable 100%. I just wanted to make sure I clarified that. Definitely an awesome blade. And kind of when the Reef F6 came out, people started talking a little bit about this one tool option, you know, bringing that topic up again. I don't think there's a one tool option necessarily, because I'm a guy that has a lot of tools when I do go out. which is ironic today that I didn't bring a coat. It's been really warm the past few days. So, make a long story short, you know, this is close to that one tool option. You can still do some shelter building and bigger wood processing tasks with this, but also be able to scrape by with some of your carving stuff. So guys, this is a really great in that wheelhouse of a quote-unquote one tool option. So what's up guys, John from Heavy Set Tactical. At the end of the video, I like to talk about some size comparisons, competitive options, you know, what I think of the blade, the steel, the ergonomics, things like that, and pricing, availability, where you can find it, stuff like that. So, one of the things I want to talk about today is this A8max Steel. Now, you guys can see that nice, polished, convex edge that they put on all their blades. And it, if I run my fingernail very carefully down there, not one blip or stoppage. Let me get a piece of paper here as well. So guys, I've had a really good result with it. Very good result with it. And this is after my testing all day. And carrying it before this. Look at that. That is a very, very thick behind the edge profile with a lot of sliciness to it. Oop, I hit the choil there. Guys, this is a great, well done knife. You know, I think a lot of you guys know by now that I'm a big Work Tough Gear fan. The way that they treat smaller channels and the way that they treat you know, their customer service, the way that they make blades that are affordable and steels that are affordable to be able to produce a knife that more people that have a slightly lower budget can enjoy, in my opinion anyway. Now, for $180, that might sound like a lot to some people, but you know, this is a $180 survival knife, right? Now, this is a Lion Steel T6. This is one of my competitive options that I wanted to bring in. This Lion Steel T6 was $349 when it first came out when I bought it. And to be honest with you, this one has a much better handle. Haven't had any issues with the edge. The first time that I took this out, it did have a couple little, right there, a couple little stoppage. Yep, still there. I have to buff that out. But it did have a couple little dinks. Now, again, this is way thinner behind the edge. I'm not knocking Lion Steel. A lot of you guys know that Lion Steel is one of my top favorite brands for their designs and the comfortability. Really, really like, this is the Lion Steel T6, and the Lion Steel T5 is also one of my favorites. Pretty good Kydex. Just a cool package. So guys, the A8max Steel, it's a company from Japan called Aichi. They made it. It's an Oz 8. This is a better done version of Oz 8. So Oz 8 is done by Aichi, which is a Japanese company. This is Oz 8, A8max is a better edge retention and toughness version of that stainless steel. Now, real quick, I just want to talk about this. So, Oz 8, A8, 8A, all these variants are talking about the same steel, which is this A8, Oz 8. Now, this is a much more, in my opinion, much better treatment of the A8 steel, Oz 8 steel, to make it a lot tougher. I've had very, very good results with the edge retention as well, and the stainlessness. So, Aichi made A8 or Oz 8 for knives originally. And if you guys look back in the history of you know, SOG using the seal pup and the seal pup knife and another seal knife, they were actually a lot of times used in active use, and those were Oz 8 A8 steel. Now, you guys hear about the 8CR13 MOV, which is a newer variant of
or a copy, if you will, of AUS-8. So guys, this is, you know, a lot of times Aurora Borealis has a video that I'll tag in the description about this steel. And one thing I will say is a lot of people will buy an A8, you know, very affordable kind of budget fixed blade or folder from a Chinese company, and they're not really getting maximized A8 specs. So they'll have a bad outcome and think, you know, AUS-8 is crap. But this is not the case. This is an excellent choice for what they're going for, which is just a brute of a knife that holds a decent edge and is very tough laterally. You know, it's not gonna, you're not gonna break the tip off of this thing. It's very thick. So let's talk about some specs real quick. Again, this is a $180 package. It is, as far as a serious survival knife goes, very affordable. Real quick before we do specs, I'm gonna throw down an SE6 next to it so you guys can see. Sorry about the wiggling of the camera. It's just what it is right now. I have an old house. The floor shakes. You know, now that I look at it, I thought this was going to be about a 1/4 inch longer. I'm going to try to line them up right there on that edge of this Work Tuff Gear mat. Okay, so they are about the same exact length. The SE6 is a little bit lighter for sure, and this does not have a choil, so a lot more cutting edge there, which I like. Now, speaking of choils, that's funny. I never knew just exactly how similar they were in length. So now, speaking of a choil, this is it. This is the Work Tuff Gear Mountain Lion that I just laid down in K329 steel. This was, up until I received this Wolverine, this Mountain Lion by Aurora Borealis was my favorite Work Tuff Gear blade, other than the Mountain Man. But that's another conversation for another day. Now, this is literally, essentially, it does not have the swedge. I just noticed that. This one has that really cool, very gradual swedge from here to here. This one is a just full flat back survival knife with a very sharp spine, as you saw in my videos. But size-wise, these blades are identical, except for the choil is added to the Mountain Lion. So that's really cool. Very, very similar handle profiles. Might be identical. Yeah, okay. So they are. They should be identical handle profiles. Let's put them like this. Now the Mountain Lion is slightly thicker for the width of the blade stock there. Okay. Love me the Mountain Lion. Love it. And the Wolverine honestly took the cake for me, I think, even over the Mountain Lion. Alright, so specs. I talk a lot. Sorry, guys, I'm not perfect. This dropped on February 15th, 2024. I will put a link for the A8 steel discussion by Aurora Borealis, who designed this, and a link for where you can find these blades when they do drop more on WorkTuffGear.com. Fixed blade, full tang, 11.6 inches from tip to tip, so almost a 12-inch knife, 11.6. 6.5 inch blade length with a 6.5 inch cutting edge. You can see you get that full length of blade for cutting edge because it kind of kicks back here with the sharpening choil still there. A nice generous sharpening choil, so you can, you know, add, you know, this can take a bunch of sharpenings. Guys, these knives are made to use, so use your knives. It's just more fun that way. So it is a 0.196 inch thickness. It is a saber grind with a convex edge. Talked a lot about that convex edge. Drop point, A8max, which is the HRC that I did not talk about yet of this A8max, is 57 to 59. Now, guys, I have had 2 of my Work Tuff Gear knives tested before with the with a pretty accurate set of the, what are those called? The HRC testing grinders, not grinders. Oh my God, you know what I'm talking about. So the HRC that they're projecting on their website, in my experience, has been files. Sorry, the HRC files that, you know, if it dings off of it or mars into it, it'll tell you what the HRC is, relatively close to what the file is listed as. they're always on point. So it's between 57 and 59. You're not getting some company that displays harder or softer steels and having it be off and too brittle or too soft. That they do. Anyone that knows anything about, anybody that really uses their knives can tell you that Work Tuff Gear's range of what they're doing and how they're treating their steels is always really on point. 3D Machine G10, beautiful, beautiful G10 there. Recessed lanyard hole, just like the Mountain Man and the Mountain Lion. This one's the satin finish. 3D Machine G10 handles, 14.5 ounces, 17.3 ounces with the sheath added into that. And it only comes with the black Kydex option. So guys, again, this is just an awesome experience to have this blade. Anybody can tell you, and as you saw in the video, I just had a blast using this thing, and anybody can tell you that the Wolverine and Mountain Lion are usually a big favorite. Aurora Borealis Knives, Alex from Aurora Borealis Knives designed this. That is his maker's mark. And he is, I think I have all of his knives so far. Just a big fan of Aurora Borealis. His designs seem to really kind of speak to me as far as what I like when it comes to a survival knife or bushcraft knife, with some of his smaller designs like the Forester. Guys, what you're getting for a $180 package with this one in the A8max. Now, the ones in SK85 in their carbon steel option are about $20 cheaper. Guys, what you're getting for this amount of money is a fantastic, functional, hard-use package that honestly, sometimes, most of the time, you just can't beat. This thing will go to hell and back with you. I would literally even say that you could use it as a deployment tool, and I would trust it. This is a high up contender on my list of knives that I could bet my life on and would bet your life on. This is a very serious option. And that sharp spine, and guys, look at how good this thing looks after beating on it for the past week and then shooting my videos. Looks great. So I've had a really good result with that A8max. It doesn't even scratch that easy, which I had some scratching with the K329. Not anything bad. I have a buffing wheel and some good buffing compound. I got most of it out. But I did have a little bit of scratching from it, which could have been the material I was cutting. You never know. Satin finishes are going to get marred up. It's just what happens. But this one looks really good. I did have this stick down about that far into the dirt. Didn't get any significant scratches from that, which usually it will, all the little rocks and things. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting to see it next to the SE6 size-wise. Guys, if you are one of those people that keep saying you can't get a Work Tuff Gear knife or are not catching the drops, they have a calendar tab right on their website I'm looking at, and it will show you all the upcoming drops. Also, the Facebook group, Work Tuff Gear Adventure Team group. Guys, I'm a big fan of Work Tuff Gear. They give you the whole package. They even give you, a wipe down cloth, stickers, patches, extra paracord to put on the hilt. Guys, they're a really well done company, and just treat people right, and that's a big thing for me. So guys, thank you very much for watching my video. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe. When I hit 4,000 subscribers, I'm doing a 3-knife giveaway, including a really awesome Work Tuff Gear knife that people, definitely not a lot of people have. It's my only set of 2 that I have left. So guys, like I always say, get out and use your knives. Life's too short to have a bunch of safe queens. And I really loved this. So thank you to Vic, Lynn, and the entire Work Tuff Gear team for providing this actual model for me to test and hold on to and enjoy for the rest of my life. Because this is a rest of your life kind of design here and execution. And the A8max Steel performed beautifully. So guys, like I always say at the end of my videos, stay safe, and like always, stay heavy.